Shine Runners Racing Radio Show is dedicated to the fans, drivers, promoters, and most importantly, the families of local auto racing. Our mission and commitment is to help build, promote, and support the local tracks across the country.
Good evening, Shine Runners Racing Radio, man. Season 2, Episode 6, March 21st. And I tell you what, spring is supposed to be in the air, but it's not.
It was snowing in Fort Bragg today.
It was icing this morning at the house.
Was it? Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. We got the dogwoods, not dogwoods, but we got the trees that are blooming, and it's snowing. What in the world? And then the whole crew's here tonight. So this is awesome.
It is.
So we got a packed house up in the house tonight, man. I tell you what, also, I'm excited that we're going to be talking to Racing Jason Turner. Got some cool things. This man stepped into a late model and went out there and just showed him how to make it work, man. And we're going to be talking to him via the phone tonight. And in the house, the Gator himself, the Gator, the 2018 Gator National NHRA Division II Super Stock Champion, is right here with us tonight,
Kevin
man.
Reiner.
I tell you what, and it's going to be great, man. We got some cool stuff. As everybody knows, I get all jacked up when it comes to mail time, and we got MPH Productions going to be going on our mail time tonight, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And definitely going to find out the deal. Larson had to put out Harvick so that way he could finish up front. That's what I'm catching, but we'll find that out when we get to talking about all our stuff. But how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. And I want to say, ahead of time, congratulations. You're going to be expecting a little boy or a little girl tomorrow or Friday. I know Miss Betty is so excited. And also a big happy birthday.
To Mom.
That's right.
Mom's turning the big 21.
Right.
And, it's kind of cool because we're coming down. I'm nervous, man. I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And just we're blessed that God's put this in our hands to raise another one up in racing, and because that's straight where they're going at. And the cool thing about this, Hollywood, is check this out. If it's born tomorrow, it's born on my mother's birthday. If it's born on the 23rd, that's our racing number.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? 2-3 Nation around here. And if it's born on the 24th, it's your racing number. And Billy Euchre's, which is one of my best friend's birthday. So it's pretty cool, man.
Awesome.
So we kind of got a weekend of this cool stuff happening.
And if it's born on the 25th, that's one day better than Hollywood. So that's what matters.
Drop that in there. But
that's the Sasquatch. We'll get him to move over and out so we see him in the
we're going to hit the panel right around. Racing Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
I'm sure you're excited. Your guys finished best he's ever finished.
What you trying to say? He won the race last year.
Well,
last year,
yeah.
Whatever.
This year.
Magic Man, what's up, my friend?
What's up, man?
Not much, buddy. that all you got? Are you still mad with me from last week?
Let's not talk about it right now.
Okay. Anyway, Shandy Nene, how are you doing? I swear you look like the girl.
Your hair looks different.
She looks like the chick off 50 Shades of Grey. I swear.
Oh, God. I'm glad to be here. I've missed y'all.
They got a strap on his helmet over here. And Jink's back in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Going on?
Not too much, man. I know you're getting excited. Heard you got the motor built, ready to go back in that car.
Can't wait. Saturday's going to be first race. Can't wait.
And I'm kind of excited, too, because you said you might be able to get some subs here from
We're going to see if we can't
Jersey
get some
Mike's.
subs here. We'll talk to them.
That'd be a blessing.
That's Joe.
Sasquatch,
Joe.
what's going on, man? You got big stuff coming up this weekend.
Oh, yeah. First race of the year around here, or Fayetteville. Me and Hollywood traveled up to the county line last week and got some footage and some photos and got warmed up for the year.
I saw him taking photos of you taking photos.
Yeah, I'm his idol.
Kind of like a 2-on-2 photo combo.
My hero.
Make sure you get the best shot.
2-on-2 photo combos going on here. But anyway, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, before we do get ready to go into our prayer national anthem, we are sending out a special prayer tonight for Mr. Red Murphy and the Murphy family. And what we want to do is we want all of our awesome viewers tonight to light Facebook up with hearts and likes and let the Murphy family know that you're there for them. As we get ready to start doing the prayer tonight, I always used to keep one eye open in the church because we ain't never know what somebody's going to break loose in there. But keep an eye open, find that heart button, and let's nail it tonight for the Murphy family. Also want to send out a special prayer for Mr. Travis Hare. Talked to Travis a little bit earlier, and he's got some stuff going on, with him. And just prayers for you, bud, and prayers for the whole racing community to stay safe. And let's have a wonderful 2018, man, as we get ready to go in it. Mom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Hats, please. God, we just humbly come before you with so much on our hearts and so many prayer requests, and we just need your healing, Lord. We ask that you be with Red Murphy and his family. Father, we just ask that you continue to lift him up, Lord. Just be with his family. We know that you're the healer, and we know that it's only by your will. And we're not asking for ourselves. We're not asking for him. But we're asking by you and by your will, Father, that you lay your hands upon him, that you send your guardian angels around him, and you heal him, Father, that you touch him and you put life back into him, and you bring life back into his family, and bring the memories and the joy that they once carried together. Just be with them during this time, Father, and lift them up, bond them together with only bonds that we know that you're possible to do. And Lord, we're not asking for us. We're asking that your grace and your glory be brought upon because of this that we've asked of you. You state that if two shall come together in your name, Lord, and Father, we have the whole radio station and the audience coming together at one time for the same reason. And we're just asking, Lord Jesus, we're just reaching out to you, that you will just reach out and you will touch this family, and that your will be done. Father, we continue to ask you to bless this group, can bless this organization, and the things that they lay their hands upon. Be with us and guide us and lead us always, Lord, for your glory. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And thank you, everybody, for joining in tonight, man. And our thoughts and prayers are with you, the Murphy family, here this evening. At this time, AJ, you ready to turn this racing thing loose, and let's get the national anthem going on, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please stand as we get ready to do our national anthem here tonight. Gentlemen, start your engines. That's right, man. I tell you what, we're starting the engines on the 2018 racing season. It started out, County Line had a great race last weekend. Triple T had a great race. They had good mud bog going on down at Fast Tracks. They had mud bogs going on down at 311. So I tell you what, the racing has started, man, and I can't be more excited for what's happening this year. And us, too, here with Shine Runners, man, doing some big things and got a lot of stuff in plan for 2018.
Yep.
Getting together. We're actually going to be hitting some tracks, and we were talking about a little bit earlier, trying to get everybody together and see. We're going to do some traveling this year, get out and go to some different tracks, not just local stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. As you said, a lot of exciting stuff going on for Shine Runners and, you know, and local racing in general. I mean, you know, we've got some big races that are coming to, you know, our region. Kicked it off this past weekend, you know, at County Line with the I-95 Late Model Challenge and Dirt Cup Challenge. And like Swanee said, you know, we were fortunate enough to go down there and take some pictures, and I got to shoot some video of Swanee taking pictures. So
yeah.
I do have proof, Doo-Doo. If you're out there watching, Swanee does take pictures.
By the way, you had my mama in tears with that picture. It was.
It wasn't a picture though. It was a.
Yeah, he was scrolling through it on the way home, and I said, "How about back that up and let's screenshot that thing."
But
it took us about 20 miles to get it figured out, but we finally got it dialed in and got it in the email.
She's seen it for about a quarter of a second. It didn't take long.
That was just before I got a gut shot with a rock.
Ooh. Yeah, he got nailed with one right in the stomach, man.
Oh,
he
man.
told me, he said, get in this little hole in this fence right here and get you some video. It didn't take but about one car to go by for that. I said, no, you know me, I like to stay clean. That car come through there and slung all that stuff all over my camera. I was like, I'm out.
You got to get in there, Hollywood. You got to get in there and get dirty a little bit. Get the good
Gotta
stuff.
get in there and get it. Like we're gonna be getting in there and getting it tonight with Racing Jason Turner. We're gonna be heading all the way down to Griffin, Georgia, to talk to Racing Jason Turner. And our man Magic Mike himself got in contact with him. Man, thank you, for reaching out and getting in contact with these guys and all that stuff to get them on the study.
Kind of came through with super late model driver Matty Watkins.
Super late model Matty Watkins.
Super late model and steering wheel enthusiast.
He's a we'll call him the wheel man.
The wheel
man.
Yes.
That's right. That's his new name.
Actually had him on the show. And definitely tonight, ladies and gentlemen, after we get done with our pit chat, we're going to be opening the phone lines up tonight. So if anybody wants to call in, you can actually call in and, talk to us about what you want to talk about. We want to talk about your racetrack. We want to talk about where you're racing at. If you think something's not right in racing and needs to be addressed, we want to hear about it. But before any other further ado, man, what you say we go ahead and get in contact with our man Racing Jason out there in Griffin, Georgia. We're going to get him on the phone lines next.
Hello?
Racing Jason, what's going on, my friend? This is Shine Runners Racing Radio.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good, buddy, good. We just, first of all, we want to thank you for you giving us time, man, to be able to give you a call and talk to you a little bit about racing tonight. And, spanning over, I promise I wasn't Facebook stalking you, but spanning over your Facebook page, man, you look like you are one wheel man if there's ever been one.
I hope. I try.
Yeah, I've seen legend cars and motocross, and I see now that you're a big late model superstar after your second race.
I definitely wouldn't call it a superstar by any means, but if it's got wheels and it might kill you, I might be into it.
Yes, well,
that's something that needs to go on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
that needs to go on a T-shirt.
No doubt, man. Well, and I heard I was talking to Magic Man a little bit earlier, and he said you were in go-karts for like a week or two.
Yeah, I got out of go-karts pretty quick. I'm not real a big fan of the whole tire prep thing. I don't do tire softener or anything like that. So it just I couldn't do it.
I'm gonna be
to
honest.
me, it takes away from the driver's ability.
Man, I'm gonna be 100% frankly honest with you, and I'm probably about to stir the pot, but I think tire prep is BS, and it's overrated and overkilling go-kart racing.
Absolutely.
I'm glad
Absolutely.
to know there's somebody that agrees
I don't feel like
with
it's
me.
the best driver that wins anything. I think it's the best tire prep guy that wins.
Right. And AJ happens to disagree, and we're actually going to be talking about that later on the show. It's funny that you brought that up because that's going to be the main discussion tonight, after we get done talking to our drivers about the whole tire prep situation. I just don't see where spending month after month after month to go racing for a weekend is any more of an advantage than doing it the week prior.
People tell you it's 2 tenths.
Correct.
But getting on to all your stuff you got going on, man. Motocross, just about every picture you got, you're holding 4 or 5 different plaques for motocross. I mean, that's got to take a lot of physical agility to be able to run one of those.
Listen to Rooster with these big words, physical agility.
Physical agility.
Spell it.
Spell it.
I wouldn't call it I mean, it definitely it's the most physical thing that I've ever done by any means. I'm getting to be an old man. I can't keep doing that. That's kind of why we got out of it. That and in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've broken. I think I don't know. It's either 17 or 19 bones. I've lost an organ. I figured Probably should get back in a cage.
Get back in a cage is the
There
best
you
thing
go.
you can do.
Sounds like you're on it, brother. Life goals, we just dropped in Oregon. We're good to go, though. Got my
Oh yeah, yeah.
femur bone
It's
taped
just
back
one,
together.
though.
So, you got to tell us a little bit about this dirt late model adventure that you've recently gotten yourself into.
So far I'm having a really good time. It seems that I've made some people mad already, but that's okay. That's part of racing. If you're running in the back, everybody loves you, and if you're running up front, nobody likes you. So that's kind of how it works.
That explains why everybody likes AJ.
We're just starting to.
Oh.
You wanna?
That's Swanee just putting a zinger off to me. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I raced street stocks back in the day, and I raced legend cars, and about anything that would let me get in on asphalt. And then, everybody's been telling me dirt's the way to go, and finally a buddy of mine, he finally talked me into getting into his car, and I said, man, I kind of have to have one of these. So here we are.
So how was that compared to being on asphalt? I seen you with the rally car you were running, and I do have to say too, man, I liked you right off the bat when I seen that number 23 legend car, because is there any better number than that 23 is what I'm trying to get at.
It's a pretty good number. I've had to go back to the old 100 because that's what I ran a long time ago. But 23 was my grandfather's birthday, so I went with that for a long time, just in memory of him.
That's awesome. 23's been a family. I mean, way back, all the way back to the Miller High Life Pony days. I got you one too, buddy. A 7-ounce Miller High Life Pony. Those number 23, man. We're running it. I ran it. My uncle ran it. My cousin ran it. My son's running it. And if all works out great, my new kid will be born on the 23rd. So.
Sweet.
Yep.
See, great minds think alike.
So, Magic Man has a special question for you.
Yeah, I heard through the rumor, Ben, that there was a protest before you even got off the scales at your last race. So, tell me about that.
How do you get protested before the race?
No, this was just right after the race. He's coming across the scales. Is that right?
Yeah. After the race, come across scales, and we're all. Nobody expected. I mean, my second race, I've only been in the car 4 times, I think, 3 or 4 times, and nobody expected it to run up front or win. So it was a surprise to all of us, and we're all hugging and shaking hands, and jumping all over each other. And my wife comes over and she grabs me, and she's real quiet, and she says, "Hey, just so you know, I don't know who that guy is, but he's protesting you." I was like, "What? For what?" She's like, "Dude, I don't know. I'm just telling you. That's just what I walked by and heard." I was like, "Okay, well, what are they protesting?" They came over and they're protesting valve springs. So I was like, it's a sealed engine. I don't know what they want to see. I mean, I can't really get in it here. So, so yeah, they protested the valve springs. We were good, so no big deal. I wasn't too worried about it. I mean, there was definitely a single moment of freak out because I bought the car race ready. I didn't put anything in it, so I didn't know. I was like, yeah, it's good. And then the guy that was the last person that drove it, he comes over and stood beside me. I was like, so we're good, right? He's like, yeah, dude, you're good.
So you bought the car, you go out there, and you put the smack down, and then they protest you. I mean, because you won. I mean, basically. Did you find out a reasoning? I mean, because obviously sometimes when people protest, it may be that their butt hurt or, they just got outrun by a man who's only been to 2 races, and now he's out front. Was there any other speculation as far as other than valve springs?
From what I gathered, the guy that protested me, he said, well, when we got this car, the valve springs were legal, so we kind of figured everybody was. I don't know what to make of it. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I mean, I know the car's legit, so I'm not too worried about it. But it was entertaining for a little while.
So did you even set the car up before you got to the track, or you just went out and just ran it like you bought it?
I set the air pressure.
He was running off pure talent.
Talent.
Yeah,
talent.
It doesn't need to be racing, Jason.
We set the air pressure, we put fuel in it, and we went.
Nice.
Racing Jason went over there and said, "Boys, put a round of talent in it and let's go racing."
I wish I could say it was talent. I mean, I'll call it luck. It is what it is. We'll see how the year goes, and then we'll call it talent.
Well, I mean, now Jimmy Johnson came from motocross, man, and he's a 7-time NASCAR champion. So you might be heading in the right direction with the background in motocross.
I will say the one thing that motocross has taught me the most is you're using so many different parts of your body at the same time. I mean, there's times where through a corner you'll be doing 8 or 9 different things at the same time, and it's allowed me to calm down in the race car because there's so many things that's going on, and I'm just like, we've kind of been here, kind of done that. It's okay. and I'm not falling from 2 and 3 stories anymore, so it's, I'm a few inches off the ground. It's not that big of a deal.
I could never do that. When I own a sign shop, whenever we have to go out and do stuff, and like we'll be 40 foot in the air, and Jim Magic Man's over there, he's just leaning off the thing, and I'm over there hanging on for dear life. I'm like, where's my tether? I don't think my tether's on. I just can't take heights.
Yeah.
So I seen on some you got All American Pizza, Tires
by Mandy.
Tires by Mandy.
Turner's Alignments. Now is that you, Turner's
Correct.
Alignments?
It is.
Oh, cool. So we'll give a big shout out there for
Tires by
Turner's
Mandy
Alignments.
is my
Man.
sister.
How they can get in contact with you for Turner's Alignments?
Do it. I'm sorry. Say it again.
How can they get in contact with you for Turner's Alignments? I mean, you've been a big superstar and all,
Well, we do one website, which is Tires by Mandy. We're 2 businesses in the same building, or you can give us a call, 770-471-2787. I say either that or the Facebook page.
Awesome. What plans do you have for the rest of your 2018 season?
We're winging it. I mean,
That's
we really don't
Seems
have
to
a
be
whole lot
working.
of plans. We're going to run Sonoma mostly, and then just kind of see where the chips fall.
So now also I seen Maddie Watkins Designs. Maddie, man. So you got to tell us about that story. Anytime Maddie Watkins' name comes up, there's definitely a story somewhere in there. Got to be.
Maddie's a good dude. He showed up to we had the car parked outside of the shop one day, and he showed up and he was like, "Hey man, I do lettering," and I was like, I know a guy that needs lettering. Other than that, I mean, he's been really good. He's been a lot of fun to hang around. I don't have an epic Maddie Watkins story. I'm sure you guys do.
Hang around with him long
he-
enough, you'll get one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's coming. We're quite fast.
You have to come up. We all go to World Finals here in November, and Matty usually comes up for us. You need to carpool with him up here and hang out.
Oh, I'm totally down. As long as there's beer, I'm good.
Oh, there's plenty of that and a
There
great
is
time.
plenty
A
of that.
great time.
Last year we ended up in a hospital. That's all. I'm going to leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Just don't hang out with Matt Carr. He'll cut the night short on you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
I'll keep that in mind.
yeah, great time down there at World Finals, man. And it definitely. Have you got a Facebook page and stuff like that? Folks can look you up. You're racing and all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my personal Facebook, which is Jason Turner. It's public. I don't keep a bunch of privacy settings or anything. There's always the picture always changes. I don't even know what it is right now on mine, but
He's winging it.
yeah, I don't.
Winging it.
Yeah, I don't have
That's how you win
some cool, Jason Turner racing page or anything.
Well, definitely, man. Anybody that's on tonight, make sure you go on there and check out Racing Jason Turner, man. I tell you what, great guy. And seen a lot of cool stuff. You're going on with you. You're into old cars and stuff too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it was big. I got a 41 Plymouth and had a 51 Rat Rod and used to do all that car show scene thing too, man. So kind of got a little connection.
Yeah, I've got a 36 Ford Cabriolet, which is my baby.
Awesome, man.
It comes out about 4 times a year.
Yeah, I understand that. I got a 02 Trans Am. It doesn't even say daylight.
Exactly.
Well, man, we certainly appreciate you coming on the show, and we wish you the best of luck in 2018, man. And make sure to keep up with us. Let Jim know about your finishes and all that good stuff so we can keep up with you. And hopefully you can get down here and see us in person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys appreciate your time.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. See you guys. Bye.
That was Racing Jason Turner, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Griffin, Georgia.
Griffin, Georgia.
Griffin, Georgia, putting it down there. He's definitely a guy you want to go watch, man, because I'm telling you what, to wing it.
The Wing It Tour is in full effect.
Yeah.
The Wing It Tour.
That's right.
I think there was a man named Glenn Howard that was kind of on the Wing It Tour. You know,
He done very well.
yeah. He would used to show up in like a 1978 long bed with an old trailer that looked like it's about to fall to pieces and go
One
out there
tire
and
a
make it
tire
happen.
jack.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know, speaking of Gen 3, I just thought about this. I was looking over. He's got his hat on. I see that 3, and now I know why it's up there. It's because it's usually I'm first, Racing Ryan's second, and he's third. So that's why he always has the 3.
Wait a minute. I bet me and him can agree. You are definitely not number one.
Yeah, I'm number 1.
Actually, you know, I've shot a lot of races and shot a lot of Victory Lane photos, and I can say he's been in more of other people's photos than himself.
Oh, I thought something good was fixing to come out of that one.
No good on that.
No, he's always.
But you know, we can go back to even when I'm just half-assing, I still do great stuff because he's asking me to borrow pictures.
Well, he took a page out of Kyle Larson's book and had to move me to outrun me. So.
Oh Lord, there we
Oh,
go.
there
So
that
what was the other 9 people's excuse? They moved you too?
They did. They moved me.
You need to pick up the pace.
Picking up the pace. Well, man, I tell you what, let's go on in the commercial. And when we come back, we're going to have the Gator himself coming in the house. 2018 Gator Nationals. This is a mouthful. NHRA Division II Superstock Champion. Coming up next. Take us out, Magic Man.
This is Matt Tuberville, number 27 with Cable Racing Engines, TCI Motorsports, and you're watching Shine Racing Radio.
It's your job to put it in the winner's circle, but it's ours to make your ride stand out above the rest. With full-colored wraps or die-cut designs, Bellinger Signs and Graphics is sure to put you in the eyes of the fans. That's not all. We do custom yard signs, storefront, and your everyday decal. Come see us today at Bellinger Signs and Graphics, 3392 Dunn Road, Eastover, North Carolina. Look at those parts to put you in the winner's circle? Let Redline Speed Shop be your one stop for all performance needs. From straight strip to left turns, they have it all. Tires, fuel, and safety equipment, and that's just the beginning. Come by today, 404 Hope Mills Road, and get your win on with Redline Speed Shop. Oh, and back in the action here at the Steel, ladies and gentlemen. It's these middle breaks, man, is when we really need cameras rolling. Because it gets crazy and crazier in
most
here.
fun.
You know,
We should put the little cameras up in the top of the screen so they can see what's going on while we're, away the commercial.
You know, before we get the Gator himself in here tonight, man, want to send out some great big happy birthdays. Mom having a happy birthday tomorrow. Chris Naylor, our CNN pressure washing koozie sponsor, actually had a birthday yesterday. Billy Euchers has got a birthday on the 24th. And sending a shout out to David Williams. Old Willie Worms got a birthday coming up this weekend, man. So happy birthday going out to all you guys and ladies out there in the world. And what you say we get the main man up in the house tonight, man? This I'm gonna tell you what, big accomplishments. Accomplished.
See, he had it with agility and he lost it with accomplishment.
Right. Sometimes you got to get a little egg in your face, kid, to make it
too early.
to make it work. Anyway, we're going to get Kevin Reiner in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all put up a big round of applause for the 2018 Gator Nationals Superstock Division II champion right here. Woo! Woo! What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, bud. Good to have you back in the studio. And, man, I tell you what, tell us about that experience. I know it's got to be life-altering.
Yeah, it was a dream come true. When I was a kid, sitting in the back of classes, all I wanted to do was race Superstock. And, came true.
So all you wanted to do was be like Robbie or race Superstock?
Just race Superstock.
Just race Superstock. Okay, I just wanted to get that covered there before we get ready to go in there. But, man, I tell you what, this weekend, run us through that this weekend. I'm all the way from start to finish. I want to hear it all.
Thursday morning, the air was really good.
I'm going to turn the mic on real quick. Sorry. Is it not on? Or is
And Bo, really?
Sorry. What, man?
That's
Calm
that's
down.
the second time.
Your brother's the one telling me to do it.
Are we good now?
Yeah, I think we're
Good.
good.
Start off
Sorry.
the weekend Thursday morning. Stood the car straight up. Went to the right. Had to slam on brakes in the air.
That's not
About ended up in the other lane. So went back, tightened shocks up, got it all good, squared away. Ran first round Friday morning. Got lucky, won that one. Had to wait to Saturday morning, run second round. Had to run the head long handy from Fayetteville, so we had to go all the way to Florida. Run a guy 15 minutes from home.
And they're not anybody to not be worried about when you pull up to the line. I mean, if you see a Longany name on the side, you know that you've got your work cut out for you.
So in second round, I had Ed. Robbie had to run Jeff long handy, and Chip Johnson had to run Jeff in stock. So I mean, it was like a homecoming race in Gainesville. So got lucky and got past Ed. And then I had to wait till like 8 o'clock Saturday night to run third round. And, got by that round. So we got up Sunday morning, ran, won fourth round. Then had to wait at 3 o'clock. Had to run Drew Skillman, who's a pro stock driver, which was kind of surreal, running professional in semis. And got past him, then, took it up. Got to Wally final round.
So when you're like, I mean, you had a lot of time in between rounds. Did that, I mean, was it making you nervous, or did you have more time to think about, okay, what am I going to do? Or did you kind of just tune it out?
Oh, no, I was nervous, Rick. About 3 o'clock when we ran. Yeah. When I ran Sam, I was just ready to get it over with. Win or lose, I was just ready to go home.
And you had that feeling, man. You pulled up. You're like, okay, this is the last round. This is go or go home right here, man. And when that light turned green and you jammed on it, what's the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, I was glad it wasn't red.
Yeah, because I read that. So last year you actually red lit, right?
Yep.
And I mean, when you're pulling up in the pre-stage and all that, is that like flashing back in your head and you're like, stop thinking about that, stop thinking about it?
And last year I did everything they tell you to do. Just go up there, act like it's a normal round. I didn't pay attention to the crowd or anything. I red lighted.
Right.
Well, this year I did everything wrong. I was sitting in the car just looking around, looking at 30,000 people and all the TV cameras.
That's awesome.
And the last two rounds I drove horrible. Like 9 times out of 10 you would have got sent packing with the packages all laid down. But got lucky in one of those 2 rounds and got the big Wally.
When we were talking a little bit earlier, you had thought you had lost.
Yeah.
After you come through the line, you were like, man, you seen everybody, the cameras were following the other car and all that stuff. So, and then when you found out that you are the 2018 Gator National Champion, I mean, what was it? Just like let's party.
Did you believe it?
No, I didn't believe it. Like, it still hadn't hit me. So I had
Disney
run
World.
I had run Pat Clifford in the finals, and he had trouble getting off the line. So the way our racing works, you have a dial-in, which mine was a 1087. And even though I got to the finish line like a couple hundred feet before he did, if I went under, I would have lost. So right before the finish line, I turned all the way around and I didn't see him. So I just jammed on the brakes and hope I slowed down enough. Well, once you cross the finish line, you can't see the scoreboard. So what they do, each lane has a light bulb like 100 feet or so past the finish line. So if you left lane wins, left lane bulb lights up. Same thing with right lane. Well, for whatever reason, Sunday they weren't working.
Oh, no.
So that much more animosity.
Oh my God!
Just like, I gotta find out what's happened.
So I didn't know if I won, and so Pat, he turned off the track before I did, and the TV crews followed him. So I was like, well, why are they gonna follow the guy that got second? So there was like 9 seconds there. I thought I did like the dumbest thing you could do in our sport, like on national TV.
Yeah.
Pretty bad, but I finally got my ET slip
and riding home, man, with that trophy. I mean, is this one of your greatest accomplishments?
Oh, it is
in drag racing.
Yes,
I mean, it's a big name, man. And you got to give a lot of thanks to your dad, which is awesome, dude. I see you and your dad at the racetrack all the time together, and it's kind of like a reflection of me growing up in racing, except for we turned left But I was always with Dad, man, and it's a family thing. I see here too that your motor was built by Junior Reiner and your dad, so the whole family come together to make this thing happen. It's racing, and that's great stuff, man. You got any sponsors you need to thank or?
Redline Speed Shop, Fast Fuel Injection, Hoosier Tires.
I do got to say one thing about Redline Speed Shop. If you ever get them to sponsor your candy drop. Be ready for kids to be jacked up, Jack. I'm telling you, there was like 700 pounds of candy they threw out at Triple T the other weekend at Redline. And Tabitha, man, she's great. And Robbie, Robbie's got Robbie Drawhorn Powertrain Development and everything. And they're big into the racing thing. So that's awesome, man, to have that backbone, of all the folks that come together to make it happen for you. Now, earlier we were talking about all the contingency sponsors and all the 500 stickers and stuff like that. That's all over. So do you get a kickback from those guys? Do they help you out any? Or?
Yeah, each sticker pays money once you win a race or runner up. I mean, that's really mainly.
Well, with your car, you're looking about you're looking about $100,000 on that car there. You got.
I wish it was that much.
So tell us a little bit too, man, about your racing career. Did you start in drag racing or?
Yeah. Well, my dad started in the late 70s and raced through the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then 1999, he bought me a junior dragster. He actually had to sell the car he was racing at the time to buy it. And
that's a good dad.
Once I turned 16, he's got a 69 Camaro, and I drove it in the foot brake division at Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. Then the year after that, we built a 94 Camaro, which I bracket raced it also and ran IHR with it for a couple years. Then 2011, we built the black car, which I won in this weekend. It was actually my daily driver for a couple years. We decided to make it a race car, and it's been pretty good to me so far.
That's good stuff. They ought to name the Scream heard around the world with Tabitha, because I didn't even really have to watch the video. I knew you had won from. It sounded like somebody was getting murdered there. But she was on it, son. She was excited.
Speaking of that, Tabitha said she needs to get paid for filling out your paperwork.
Hey, I wonder if we can download that Scream into this little button right here.
If it worked, that's probably exactly what it sounded like.
That or a mix between that and that goat that hollers, whatever that is.
She was daggone happy, man.
I wish we had a radio, because then I would have at least known I won.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had that 9 seconds feeling like an idiot.
So they did all the cameras, and I saw your interview. You can actually go on your page, and the interview's on your page and all that stuff, man. So, and your page is just Kevin Reiner, right? And you can go on Tabitha's page or Redline Speed Shop's page or anything to do with Tabitha Drawhorn, and you can see it too.
Yeah,
she's got about every round on there. Was kept us all up to date here back in North Carolina, man. We're definitely super proud of you, man. That's an awesome achievement, man. It really is.
Yeah, congratulations.
And yeah, thank Chick-fil-A. What's the story behind that?
Well, every time we go to a race, Robbie and Tabitha got to eat like all the fancy places.
Right.
And I hate it. Like, I just want to eat cheap and just get it over with. And Saturday night? Friday night. Everywhere we went, it was like 45-minute wait.
Right.
And I kept saying, why don't we just go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
And so we ended up going to Cracker Barrel, and it went horrible. Like, they ran out of sweet tea. They almost ran out of meatloaf. Ran out of ketchup.
What? Nah, fired.
Yeah, that place needs to shut down.
Let's go to Chick-fil-A. Why don't we just get up and leave? And finally, when Tabitha wanted some ketchup and found out they were out, I said, Chick-fil-A, they never run out of ketchup.
They got
packets.
You can get as much as you want right there. Just grab a whole handful.
What kind of establishment runs out of ketchup and meatloaf?
And sweet tea.
Oh, look. He said you stole your ketchup from a little girl at the restaurant.
Tabitha.
Come on, TT.
Is that why she's sitting on the outside today?
Probably.
Somebody get her a packet of ketchup.
She ain't in the Gainesville County Jail.
Man, that's awesome, man. So coming up, you're going to be headed to Galat on April 13th and 14th. Is that another sanctioned race?
Yeah, it's divisional. Then the week after we'll be in Dinwiddie, Virginia. And the week after that, it's the 4-wide nationals at Charlotte.
Awesome. Man, I know that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blast.
So I would take it that you're going to run the points.
Yeah.
Because right now you're the leader, right?
Yeah, currently right now I'm number 1 in the world.
That's awesome,
in the world,
Yeah.
bro.
In the world. That's a big deal.
Sitting right here beside
At
us.
Shine Runners Racing Radio.
Yes, you've seen it here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's awesome, man. Thank you
Don't
for
feel too
coming.
special.
Will you sign my forehead? My baby will be here this weekend. If you can sign the baby, you know, the number 1 in the world.
And speaking of that, I see here you like ham sandwiches, and I promise you, when Rooster's baby comes out tomorrow, it'll probably have a
What's
ham
up with
sandwich
you
in
and
his
these
hand.
damn sandwiches, man?
I like eating cheap. Yeah, that's another thing.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
I'm a
Shandy
cheap
can
eater.
tell you when we went to PRI, they broke us going out to eat.
Like a $40 steak.
We were
No
looking
more
for
than that.
McDonald's and everything.
Yeah.
We went to some place called Fleming's in Indianapolis. I got like, it was supposed to be filet and rice, but it was really like stew beef and rice. $32.
Wow.
I got a salad for $12.
I've been eating
that
Is that why y'all ended up at the trash gasoline out the trash can place? Y'all were trying to find something to eat. Yeah, the new
garbage
garage.
area.
Yeah, the garbage area.
Well, when you go out to eat, make sure you bring a doggy bag because I've been eating the same hamburger helper cheesy mac for 3 days, dude. I'm, a little on the broke end of things here now, so we'd probably race well together. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of doggy bags, did you celebrate with Buddy?
Yes, I did.
And he's got on down here.
His significant
His
other.
significant other is his dog buddy.
Yep.
So would y'all party, have cake, or what?
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
I should have invited you.
You should have.
Yeah, I know you like
should
cake.
have. I love cake. Actually, was praying for cake tonight, but nobody brought any.
No, but you got a 6-foot pizza over here.
You're right. That too. Anyway, man, is there anybody that you would like to definitely tell them go to these websites, check it out? How do they keep up with where you're going racing next? I mean, you're big time. You're big time now, dog.
I'm not really good at this.
Can we get a manager here?
I'm not really good at social media stuff, so
Yeah.
Tabitha's in charge of that.
We'll get used to it, man. You're number 1 in the world right now.
Yeah.
Did you know what to do with your hands in the middle of an interview? What you're doing
no.
on TV?
I think I was like waving them everywhere with my shirt.
I don't know. That's right.
I don't know.
I won. That's all I know.
Just my hands.
Just give me my damn
Just where
trophy.
Where my stuff at?
Awesome, man. Well, anybody you definitely like to thank?
My dad, for sure. I can't repay him for all he's done. My mom, she's never been into racing, but she's always supported all my bad financial decisions. Racing.
That's called racing.
Yeah.
Robert Klein Jr. said when he grows up he wants to be just like Kevin. That's impressive, man. You got people that want to be like you now. You know what I mean? I'm sure they did before this, but
I don't know about that. But the whole Warren family. I've been working at Warren Engines for close to 7 years now. Robbie, I help him at night, 3 or 4 nights a week.
Is that what the 1900 Robbie Drawhorn, or is that the powertrain development?
Oh, the powertrain.
Okay,
There you go.
I just want to clarify. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man, and
Yes,
we look forward to
definitely.
seeing what's going on. I know Tabitha will keep us up to date on all your results and everything that's going on. And Robbie, he said, but when you get up there, just don't make sure you do everything wrong and you'll win. Just don't red light.
Yeah.
Stare at the crowd.
Yeah, what did Racing Jason Turner say? Just go off the fly? How did he-
Wing it.
Wing it. Just wing it, man.
Oh, and thanks, Tabitha.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Naylor said something about Tabitha owes you about $250,000 in sponsorship now for getting her name out as, number 1 man in the world right now, and you're promoting her name. So I'm sure.
I think that's pretty close to estimate.
She could have cut off she probably cut a quarter of that off for the candy she sent for the candy drop the other week. But man, thank you so much. Anybody on the pit panel got anything for the man? I mean, why you got them in front of your face right now?
No, just congratulations. It was exciting I got to watch the video, so congratulations on your win. It was awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Well, we're going to head out to commercial. And then when we come back, I think we got some mail time. Is that right,
It is.
Rooster?
We got mail time, and then we're going to crack into what's going down in the worlds of racing.
Awesome. All right, man.
It's Matt Long, and I'm watching Shine Runners Racing Radio. Say that 5 times fast.
All right, driver blue number 14J, and you're watching Shine Runners Racing Radio.
We're watching Shine Runners Racing
Look at those parts to put you in the winner's circle? Let Redline Speed Shop be your one stop for all performance needs. From straight strip to left turns, they have it all. Tires, fuel, and safety equipment, and that's just the beginning. Come by today, 404 Hope Mills Road, and get your win on with Redline Speed Shop. Back in the action here at the Steel Mantis, we get ready to go with Mail Time, one of my favorite times of the show here tonight. Before we get ready to crank out Mail Time with MPH Productions, want to go over, we have actually got some stuff for sale from a gentleman. If anybody's looking, this is a 3-layer Sparco. Sparco suit. This is about a $700-something suit. Guys got it for sale for $350. It's brand new, and not saying any about size, but it's a little bit taller than Hollywood over here.
It's
Everything's
taller than Hollywood.
Yeah, a bit taller, but this is a good suit, man. 3-layer suit. Also have got a Simpson
racing helmet.
It says 54. So
a Simpson Facerius with one of these little bong deals on the side of it. K&N.
More horsepower.
Give you 30 more horsepower with this little breather deal on the side of it. He will take $350 a piece, or if you buy both of them, he'll take $50 off of it. So, I mean, this is new stuff, man. Helmets are small.
Yeah, I think it says 7 on the inside. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see.
It's small for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get like my fist in it.
It's 56 centimeters, a 7 or 56 centimeters. So.
I know one thing. This head right here or that head right there ain't going in that.
No. So, which y'all don't finish close enough to the front to where you would need something like a Simpson.
Yeah.
No way.
Probably it's good for y'all though, because you suck a lot of dust up when you're in the back. Whoa. So this would filter that out for you guys.
Well, I heard your helmet suits for rent since your car ain't gonna touch the racetrack till about mid-September.
Oh no, son. Speaking of, I want to give a big shout out.
Are you talking about mine?
To Robbie Drawhorn Powertrain Development, man. They are working on a power plant for that piece, and it's going to be coming soon, and there's going to be a lot of HP in that thing.
I heard about it. Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
he said, I want a ring.
The driver sure ain't going to be able to handle it. I can tell you that.
Let's hope the driver's got
You're
a
facing the
look at
wrong
how-
direction.
And, hey, he'll be about mid-pack.
Swan is my biggest
He
fan.
gonna have to hire somebody to drive that piece.
Brakes.
We don't need brakes.
That's right. Well,
Yeah,
kick it up, man.
prayer.
Mail time coming in right here. All you got to do for mail time, tell them all you got to do, AJ.
All you got to do is send self-address, or not self-address, but send it to 3392 Dunn Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina, care of Shine Runners Racing Radio, and we'll open it right here on the air. Talk about your company, and get it out to the folks that need to see it. So,
yes.
What do we got, man?
This come from Kim Bartlett from MPH Productions, and it's out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Awesome. And we're going to pass it over to the pit and let them open it up. We ain't let them do that in a while. So let Shandy open them up, see what's going on.
Thank you.
Might as well make you feel special.
That's good.
But anybody that wants to send in anything, like we had Jegs actually send in a bunch of T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
We've got stuff from Beer Nuts. Casey Racing out of Ohio actually sent some tire preps and other stuff like that.
We've had a lot of them.
I think it's for you. It's talent.
Here's the funny thing about that.
Yes. It's a bash, AJ.
Let's go back now. I wish we had the little waves that came down for remembering. I use your word too. So remember when I was going back racing after 6 months of being off, and Shandy was the #1 person talking junk.
And you set her out on the front.
That's right.
And led every lap.
And then he hit somebody right in the rear.
No,
And
then the camera
ran
all
all
of
the
a
way in the
sudden.
front.
The camera all of a sudden
Did
cuts
the camera
off
go
when he
dead,
loses the
or what?
That's what
Rob
they're
was working the camera.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean,
AJ
it's
Law.
pretty close to
Anyhow,
I didn't want
open
to.
the.
Is that an instructional DVD for
Yeah,
to learn how to
it's
drive?
pretty close.
How to drive
I mean,
a car.
it's Triple T, but it is the 3rd annual Chili Bowl.
Awesome. Wyatt won that one.
Is that the Tony Gray driving school for AJ?
I'll tell you what, man, I'm in the hot seat
I
tonight.
ain't lying.
Let's get that up in front of a camera.
So a big thanks going out to MPH Productions, and if you'd like to get your races video, he does a great job, man.
He does.
He'll come out, video the race for you, and you drivers out there, if you'd like to purchase it and see what you're doing wrong or what you need to work
AJ.
on out there on the track, this is a good way to get in contact with Kim Bartlett,
Right.
and it'll get you hooked up with one of those.
And I think you can call him and get about anything you want. He
Yeah,
had a
he's
video
videoed.
of I think it was Phoenix in like 1992, and it had like Kyle Petty and Kawicki and all them boys in it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
And
he's
Ken's
been
a
doing it for
really good
while.
guy, man. He's a really nice
Yeah.
fella. I've actually had a chance to talk to him a few times, and
I think he was down at County Line this past weekend. He didn't he?
Yeah, I think
He
he's
got
back
that
up there
race?
for the year.
Yeah.
That's kind of his home. He's done every racetrack, I believe.
Yeah, he was even there. He videoed the Legend Car race out, the race for the kids.
Yeah.
So
So
well, he does it, I'm sure, every year. but
Yeah,
he did
pretty
2
much you
years
could
ago.
call him, and I'm sure he's got an archive
And great quality
file.
too.
It's-
Yeah.
And
Through
his
the
phone
roof.
number is 919-464-6764. 919-464-6764. Mr. Kim Bartlett with MPH Productions. A huge thanks to you for sending it in. And I think our next one is we got a Roy Hills drag racing that's going to be coming in for our mail time next month or next show. So definitely looking forward to opening that one. If anybody wants to do it, $33.92. It's a perfect way. It's absolutely 100% free to get your word and promotion of your business out. And you know, I'm a fond believer in mail time, man. Mail time.
A foreign believer.
Mail time. Mail time. Well, while you guys are talking about County Line and all that stuff, why don't we go right on down to the late model lowdown?
Yeah, man. So I've got just a few things real quick. I-95 Late Model Challenge at County Line this past weekend. Steve Bonnell took the win. Robbie Emery finished second. The Lucas Oil race at on March 22nd at Volunteer has been canceled. The next place they're going to be heading is the 23rd at Boyd Speedway. And the World of Outlaws Farmer City Raceway race that was coming up has been reset for April the 13th and 14th. And Swanee, what else you got for us out there?
Pretty much.
I don't think your microphone's
Yeah,
on.
giving me junk, and you ain't got your
Well, I
microphone
try to
on.
cut
Thank
mine
you.
off
That's
so
right.
I can sit here and
Because there's so much hot air
think
blowing
of
through it.
Nope, not a lot. The Bulls Gap Lucas Oil show's canceled. Not sure why. There's more details to come out. Like you said, the line I-100 reset for 13th, 14th. Pretty much that's about it right now. Everybody's still pretty silent. Just some TV news. MAV TV is going to stream the Show Me 100 live instead of pay-per-view. It's going to be live on MAV TV for
That'd
those
be
who's
awesome.
got it. Of course, Boom City kicks off this week.
Woo!
50th
Practice.
anniversary, man.
50th anniversary. I am pumped.
Dad,
up.
you were at the first one, weren't you? It's the 50th anniversary. But you were at the first one. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Good stuff, man. So you're going to be at the 50th, I can guarantee. Yeah. Tighten wooden spokes in the wheels.
And also coming up, April 7th is opening night for Lakeview Speedway, Late Model Super Street, Pure Stock 4-cylinder U-Car, and the Bell & Bell, as well as the Sharp Mini Late Models. Check them out on Facebook. And Clary's March 24th is have open practice, and then April 7th will be their Late Model Limited, Sportsman, Pure Stock V8s, Super Stock 4s, Pure Stock 4, I think that's what it is, and U-Car. You can check more information out at claryspeedway.com.
And both of those classes were actually, or both of those tracks were actually on the edge of maybe not working out, and then boom, you know, the one guy come along and bought Clary's, and then as was the gentleman's name, Tim, that's doing
Clary's.
Clary's. Lakeview
Scott Tripp
Speedway.
is-
Scott
yeah.
Tripp at
Tripp is
Lakeview.
Lakeview.
And they have been doing a lot of work
Oh,
down
yeah,
there,
that
man.
place
That
is
place
beautiful.
is looking great. So,
Not only is the track the smoothest in the
Yeah.
Carolinas.
and we want to send out from Shine Runners Racing Radio, thank you to you guys for, you know, doing all you can do to save the sport. That's all the track
Yeah, appreciate it,
promoters
Scott
out
Tripp.
there.
You've done one hell of a job with that racetrack.
Do you have something else, Swanee?
Yeah, they've added a few dates. They've had an open practice on April 6th and April 27th, and the Pure Stocks and the Super Streets have been added to the dates they were not originally scheduled for, which was April 28th and September the 1st.
So they did add some. That's good.
Cool, man. Racing Ryan, what you got going on other than the Vampire Kid finishing second?
I honestly have no idea why you're coming at me with that, because Harvick owned up to himself. But Martin Truex won the AAA 500. He led 125 laps of 200. Other than the incident with those two, the race was pretty stale.
Incident?
Typical NASCAR.
The only thing that could better that was the Xfinity race, which Joey Logano won. He led 139 laps. So it was a pretty boring weekend, but this weekend, the Cup Series and the trucks are going to be at Martinsville.
That's going to be some good racing.
Mm-hmm. Always is. Martinsville's a good track to watch.
In other news, Daniel Hemrick's going to drive a third RCR car, and he's going to put the number 8 car back on the track for the first time since 2007. And
what's going on with Jimmy Johnson?
probably the biggest news in the last couple of weeks.
You waving that microphone all around.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Just
Yes, he went back to being a seedling.
yeah.
Not sure
I
what to
see
do.
You're
It's all
you're
brand new.
reverting.
It's all brand
He
new.
closed up for the
It
winter.
is what it is. But Lowe's is not going to be on Jimmy Johnson's car.
It must be a thing about the 7-time. Like nobody's ever going to be able to bust that
No,
8
NASCAR's
time.
gonna-
Because have you
It's
seen?
gonna
Have you
happen.
noticed that it's like every time they're waiting for that one guy. You know what I mean? Because like once you start reaching up, they start shutting you down. So it's a whole new group of people now.
I think the only reason Richard Petty has 7 because he ran every day of the week. Just saying. I mean, how you go from 200 wins to the next is like 105.
Yeah, well, they did run a lot more races back then, and they were getting, you know, a lot of help from the manufacturers. I'm sure more than most of the other guys were at that time. But it's a changing in the guard in NASCAR. So.
You're actually going to be going down to Martinsville this weekend, right?
Yep.
Cool. So you'll be able to come live. I wonder will they have an issue with you going live?
I don't know. Some people don't agree with that, so
Well,
maybe the people at Martinsville will.
just walk easy.
You can go live, just pick one car, like they said.
I-
Don't watch the whole race, just watch one car.
I'll approve of them people if they do that.
The people that don't have SF1 or FS1
Yeah.
will love you. I don't know if it's going
Do
to
you
FS1
know,
or Fox or what this
speaking of
weekend.
NASCAR, there is a Mexican NASCAR. I did not know that. It's a Mexican
What?
peak. Yeah, it's a Mexican peak series. Mexican
Yeah,
NASCAR.
I think they also have a Canadian.
I
Yeah,
watched
it's like
it.
the NASCAR Pinty series.
I mean, it was like, I was like, oh man, I was so into it, and I didn't know what the hell he was saying, but it was great. It was
Hey,
great.
when they do soccer games, they will make it sound like the most exciting thing in the world. I'm like, what's going on?
I
don't
was
know.
just hoping that one of the girls would have walked out, because usually those Mexican chicks, like on the Weather Channel, I don't know what in the world he's saying,
Careful,
but it's exciting to watch. My wife's Mexican, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Magic Man, if you can gather yourself.
Okay. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Man, that just checked me.
And it was sponsored by Corona too, just to throw that
That
out there.
just-
Throw that
cherry
out
on
there.
top of that one.
Yeah.
A jalapeno, a jalapeno.
A jalapeno. Yeah, sprint car news. Devil's Bowl Speedway, Mesquite, Texas. Roger Crockett won there. The Stockton, California. Mother Nature said, "Hell no, you guys aren't racing. I don't care how ready you are not racing." Back and then swing it back to the East Coast. Williams Grove, Mother Nature. Hell no, you guys ain't gonna race either. Mother Nature has
Put the smack
rained
down.
on the race season so far and just jacked it up for everybody. But I don't know about you guys, but like with sprint car racing, they race everywhere. If there's a field that they can get some cars in, they're going to race. So the races just stack up. So I usually just try to hit a few of anything that's gone on anywhere. So 105 Speedway, Cleveland, Texas. Terry Schmidt, he won down there. You know Terry.
Oh yeah,
He's a good guy.
Terry's a great guy,
He
man.
is. So I'm glad to see him
his
pick up
wife and his kids—they're all great people.
So I mean,
They have a cool little dog too, a little lap dog named Charlie. I like that dog.
that dog is cool.
You sound like Sling Blade saying that.
Charlie's a good dog. No, but he is, man. That whole family's good people.
They definitely are. But I mean, I could go all day long with the list of races here, but just hitting a few of them. Coalwood, Bay Park's Family Speedway, he picked up a win there. Tim Crawley at I-30 Speedway in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the list goes on. So Mother Nature was spotty, let some guys race, told other guys to pack their stuff and head back to the house.
I thought it was pretty cool. Speaking of sprint cars, that the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Series went back through their stats and added non-feature events like preliminary night events and poles and heat race wins, stuff like that. And it pretty much solidified that Steve Kinser is the damn man.
Oh
of
God,
sprint
yeah,
car
man.
racing. They did that and his stats went sky high. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Shandy, what you got on drag racing?
I got the most important news. Kevin Reiner, 2018 Gator National winner.
What?
Awesome.
Way to go, Kevin.
Way to. Is that it? Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
I think you should study up before you talk junk about me.
There is
Well,
some
you're
more.
not going to be a winner, so I ain't got to report that.
There is actually some more going on. The 252 Fastest of the Fast, March 24th, run for the 252 list. Calling out all Fast 252 cars. Track address down in South Kinston, North Carolina. Going to be running up this weekend. I do believe that they have actually got some drag racing going on down at Fayetteville Motorsports Park this weekend as well. And they got down at Galat. It's not going to be drag racing, but it's full contact demolition derby round track.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
It
yeah.
should be mud track, really. There's more mud than anything else.
Speaking of drag racing, I did say I'm gonna jump in real quick, and Tabitha and Robbie and Kevin can help me out. Valdosta, the Sweet 16 is going on this weekend, and Stevie Fast is down there. He was calling out, I think, anybody that wanted to come straight off the trailer. 2 on 10. Yeah, 2 on 10. Radio, yeah. You got to check it out. Stevie Fast. It's awesome. So.
Rockingham canceled today for the ATI race for this weekend because
So,
of weather.
okay, Rockingham, the ATI race this weekend is canceled due to weather. It's rescheduled for June.
Awesome, man. Turning it over, Jink's going to talk a little bit about what's going on down in the U-Car world of things.
Getting ready for that, actually. First event at Fayetteville. Going to have a ball this year. Hopefully, we're not going to have the big dogs that went up to Pure Stock this year, Dylan, and congratulations on your last year's championship win. But the car count in U-Car should do well this year. Dublin's not opening, so we're probably going to have a lot of them boys coming up. Lakeview opening up. It's a lot of U-Car. Everybody in the U-Car world loves Lakeview. It evens the playing field with the V6s and the 4-cylinders. It's going to be a good number of cars this year, so we're all looking forward to it. Please make a car and come out. Bring this car number
and
up.
I
We
see
need more
that
number of
Brandon
cars.
Jacobs has. I think he's got his for sale. $3,000.
Yep.
Comes with I think like
$3,000 or $7,000?
No, it's 3,400. I think is what the last drop down was.
Wow.
Right, and it comes with like an extra transmission
And
and stuff.
he's got,
75
what,
feature
72,
wins.
70
I mean, the
wins,
whole back
4
of
or
that
5
car
championships.
stickers.
Yeah, if you can drive, you'll definitely have a shot at
There's
winning.
$3,000 worth of stickers in
I
the
mean,
back.
the last year's champion, Dylan's car is up for sale. There's a Celica. David Kelly's got a Celica up for sale. He's also got that 15, I believe, Cavalier. Yeah, so we've got a few people's cars for sale. If you want to go racing, that's the class to get into.
Cool stuff, man. And you were talking a little bit earlier on this week that one of your sponsors, Jersey Mike's, is wanting to do a race day promotion.
Yep.
And Fevel Tech is actually wanting to do a race day promotion. That way they can get some of these kids interested in the mechanics, you know, getting in the mechanic shop and stuff. Because nowadays, I mean, these kids don't want to get their hands dirty. But believe me, there's still going to be cars. Somebody's got to work on them.
You get them stuck on a car and anything that has to do with racing or looking at these race cars, and it becomes an addiction that you can't let go of.
I guarantee, you know, a lot of times, too, I always say this. If you'll take a kid that's never been to a race, no matter what aspect of racing it is, he's going to fall in love with it.
Yeah, you can't help it.
There was a video that someone posted on Facebook of Jeff Burton in a hauler talking about, and I think what's happened is a lot of these guys like Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Kenny Wallace, you know, they've retired, but they're starting to see that if we don't start getting these kids involved and we don't start going back to our roots, we're going to lose like NASCAR.
Yeah.
Jeff Burton said that you have got to make that connection between the Saturday night racers and NASCAR. So what he was saying was, you know, he remembers at South Boston Speedway, you know, guys coming up and racing there that were racing in the Cup Series. You know, they'd race here on Saturday nights, and then they'd go race there. You know, or you'd see the big cars. One thing you were saying was the big cars, like the Truck Series and stuff, they used to run these smaller tracks. So you could make the connection. Now, you don't have that. It's got to be a super speedway. A smallest track we go to is Martinsville. And his big thing was we got to get the kids more involved, and the way we can do that is connect it back to these local short tracks. So.
And they're even doing some things. So when you go to Darlington this year, check this out. Darlington is making the seat change from 18 to 22 inches wide because they knew I was probably coming this year. So and also
room for Rooster.
The grandstands are going to be smoke free, and I don't know if that's a pun towards Tony Stewart, but
Daggone.
But you know, and they were actually Harvick and Stewart and all were on the other day. They were actually talking about that whole. We got to go back to grassroots, Bo.
Yeah.
You got to.
If they don't, they're going to lose. They're going to lose their. I mean, they're not building a base. They're trying to bring all the young kids in, like Chase and Blaney and Bubba Wall, because they think that getting the young drivers is what's going to bring the kids in. That's not what's bringing the kids in. You've got to bring in. You got to get the kids involved. Go ahead.
I think it takes a lot more short tracks and a whole lot more attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Martinsville is going to be a good one this week.
Well, I can definitely tell you what's in it and what has a great junior and youth upbringing, and that's karting, man. And I'm going to tap into that March 24th, ice kart racing at Jackson Optimus Ice Arena. 220 laps, only $5 to get in. That's in Jackson, Michigan. But could you imagine 220 laps on ice, how much endurance that would take to finish that out? The series is going to be down at Liberty Raceway Park. The parking lot party, that's on Friday night, kicks off, and the Carolina Cup Turn 1 is March the 24th. Got the Twin Fountain Raceway in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Spring Bash, amped up racing series, going to be down there. Southern Flathead Dirt Series makes their way back to Jacksonville, Florida, to kick off the old school Flathead Point Series and Extravaganza. Gates open at 1, practice at 3, $10 to get in. And the Triple T, the Savage, is coming up, man. You want to see a race, this is the place to be. Down in St. Paul's, North Carolina, Twin 50 race coming up March 31st, $3,000 to win. Clone Savage, $2,000 to win. Clone Animal Savage, and $1,200 to win Junior Savage. And bring your basket. They're going to have an Easter egg hunt down there, probably with leftover candy they had from Red Line Speed Shop last weekend. And they have got a pit crew challenge going on. This is something you don't hardly ever see. But one person on the pit crew actually gets to go out and be in the challenge, and there's money coming up for that.
Now, is that during a race or just?
Well, that's during like an intermission.
Okay.
They come out and change a tire or some stuff like that. And speaking of changing tires and changing stuff on these go-karts, guys, they're putting that. This is huge right now. Weights. If you're double stacking weights, you got to be on a 3/8 bolt, double nutted. Paint them white, put your name and number on them. They actually, I'm not going to name any tracks, but they had some weights fly off. One guy got his leg broke. And Terry was telling us the other day that at 50 mile an hour, 5-pound weights, 500 pounds of pressure whenever it hits. So could you imagine that hitting you? You know what I mean? So, guys, because a lot of these folks are changing classes, you know, and they have to go in from heavy to super heavy, and they have to change a weight over or something. So if you're be sure you double check those weights, because it could really put a hurting on somebody. Excuse me. Want to send a shout out to the Cam's Point Series. The Kid Kart 2-cycle, Mr. Braden Boogeyman Johnson riding for the Nightmare Motorsports. I know those guys. That man put the throttle down, man, and really made it happen. But Braden picking up the Kid Kart win. Anthony Legg picks up his first win in the red plate down at Triple T Raceway. And Legg Motorsports, those guys do a great job. I think they get their bodies done here at Bellinger Signs and Graphics.
That's right,
if I'm not mistaken. Junior 1 and Pro Junior 1, Clay Bellamy picking that up. Senior champ, Fuzzy Harrelson. LO206, and the Flathead went to Matt Winburn. Animal Medium went to Brandon Johnson. Animal Heavy went to Jeremy Pate. Animal Super Heavy to Matt Turbinville, which you've seen tonight on the thing. And again, huge shout out to Redline and Flow Right Plumbing for T-shirts and candy to throw out. And I have to give a shout out to my man Darren Wallace down at Willie D. Willie D's down there at Triple T, and he's doing paintings. Like he painted the whole Triple T mural and everything in the winter circle. He painted a checker flag line at the flag stand. So if any of you racetracks out there want to get your logo or your checker flag finish lines or whatever painted, let Willie D know. His number is 910-689-6288. And I tell you what, he is he's a fine arts and freehand artist and can do an awesome job for you and your racetrack if that's something that you so on desire.
Also, Deborah Brown put out their Rockfish has practice this weekend, and their first race is April 7th.
Yep, that's down at the Rock of Hoke. And coming up in the mud bogging side of things, State Line Mud Bog Complex, home of the Flag Wars in Gaffney, South Carolina, is coming up. And that's going to be 100% payback this weekend. They're looking for sponsors for that track, so if anybody's looking to sponsor, let them know. Fast Tracks Open Bog and Easter Hunts March 31st with Mega Trucks Battle and Bragging Rights. The weekend admission is $10, kids $3. ATV, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, camping's only $5. And down there this past weekend, we have to send out a shout-out to them too, AJ, as they are a table sponsor for Shine Runners.
Absolutely.
Huge thanks to Fast Tracks coming in with us. The street stock was Denzel Harper and the What's Up Doc, Ford 6-cylinder Jimmy Howard and the Sloppy Seconds, Super Street Brandon Helton in the Old Yellow, and Renegade Outlaw Kenneth Harper in the Wild Thing picked up the win down there. So a cool shout-out to those guys. And coming up, April 7th, ladies and gentlemen, the first race of the Clash of the Carolinas with over $100,000 in payout over 9 races. And, man, the last race down at Lee County, the top 3 trucks that ran in Unlimited were sub-4-second runs. That's 3 seconds, a little over 3 seconds what these trucks were running first second. So to get in the top 3, you got to be sub-4-second. That's killer. That's killer action going on, man. If you had never did a mud bog, you definitely need to go check that out.
That's moving.
Definitely. That's all I got.
Man. That's all?
That's all.
You sure?
Well, I think you ready to open up the phone lines for anything?
Might as well, man. Open up the phone lines and somebody
Keep
call me
calling
in.
910-321-8299. Anything you got in regards to racing, or, I mean, it could be anything really. But one thing I want to talk about, Racing Ryan might know something about it, Swanee too, is this past weekend at the NASCAR race, well, I think it was 12 or 13 drivers did not pass inspection to go, be able to qualify. Right. And they have this new Hawkeye laser scanning system and all this stuff. And, some people were saying that some of the teams may have purposely been failing so that they could start the race on sticker tires. And then NASCAR came in because I guess some guys were complaining about, the guys that failed tech, they're going to be starting on stickers. We're going to be on wore out tires because they have to run the tires that they qualified on. So NASCAR made the rule change and said, okay, we'll give you sticker tires. All right, let's see who we got. You're on with Shine Runners Racing Radio. This is Hollywood. Who we got?
Boys, we're going to make this a weekly thing with Maddie.
Oh, Maddie, what's up, buddy?
So, I haven't gotten to talk racing all week. I missed the interview with Jason. Apparently, I was brought up from what I'm told. So, can we fill me in?
Yeah, we talked about all that weight you had in that little car that night at the World Finals.
Yeah.
Call us on the line.
Oh, man. Yeah, the 12.5 gallons per mile. That fuel mileage I was getting that day.
Yeah. And now, I've heard from a birdie that you're putting in to be kind of basically a deckhand on a super late model team, a national tour.
All right. I knew this was going to come up, and I knew if I called in, I was going to talk about something else, but we'll cover this here real fast.
Tell us about it, Will, man.
Oh, I will tell you about it. I don't know how to say it. I got nothing going on. The summers are the absolute slowest time right now. I'm building a business. I had a really good winter. I had a really good winter and a really good spring, and I know it's going to die out. So I don't know how I came across Twitter, but there is a very large race team looking for just crew help. And basically the job requirements are stuff that I did with Casey Roberts last year. Scuffing, grooving tires, driving the car, washing the car, green hand type stuff. Nothing.
They're not going to let you steer anything, right?
They're not letting me steer anything. I'll have to check about just wheeling it over to the tech line. But I did apply. They want somebody who has probably years of experience in this thing. So I don't know if I should just lay low on it and just kind of laugh about it that I applied, or if we should just make this like windfire and just take Twitter over and just start sending the guy who I applied with some messages.
Yeah.
So the guy is Billy Moyer Jr., who I thought it was just going to be, and I know he runs like a 3-person stable, him, a chassis guy, a setup guy, and then basically somebody preps the car. Well, it turns out this job is actually for him.
Whoop.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Call us back, Maddie.
Man down.
We can call him back.
Yeah. And we got Terry Odom called in, too. He wants to call in and talk some trash.
Am I the first guest to be hung up on?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've just won.
You win a dial tone.
Man, maybe I am terrible at this interview stuff. How far did you guys hear up to?
We called you right back. We didn't miss anything.
We got to the point of you talking about Billy Moyer Jr. and we dumped you.
Yeah, it was Billy Moyer. So it was for Billy Moyer Jr. And I don't know how I stumbled across it. And, there was a part of me going, this would be fun. Billy Moyer Jr. is about my age. We enjoy the same thing. I know exactly.
You want to take him on a date or something?
I don't have. Maybe. I mean, I know he's got a kid and a wife, but you never know, right? Are you saying there's a chance?
Sugar daddy.
So I don't know. Like I was like, that would work out, and then it turns out like you'd be running about 50 events as well with Dad, who doesn't suck still, and he's what, 65 years old.
Right. Yeah. I think he's moving close to retirement though.
Yeah, and he always says, they did a video about, when you do it like Kinzer go out, he goes, I'll probably just not show up, and everybody will realize that was kind of it. But, man, this is a great segue. Check this out. I'm going to show you boys how to do radio. So, anyway, speaking of Billy Moyer, did you guys see the thing I sent you about the Mark Martin podcast?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm not going to call you out in public, but did anybody have a chance to listen to it?
Not yet, I haven't. But you basically just called us out.
Most people,
in public.
Most things that people send me, I don't listen to either. I just kind of go, yeah, that was cool, and I never watch it. This actually, I think, would be right up your guys' alley, because when I first saw Mark Martin, I thought NASCAR, Jack Roush, Ford. It's not. The first episode that they do is like fan questions, but the second episode is about an hour and a half long, and Larry Shaw is on that show. And it's not Q&A. These guys are telling racing stories. Do you guys know who Larry Shaw built? He built Mark's first asphalt car, but do you guys know who he built his first dirt late model really for?
That's a good
Billy Moyer.
Really?
Billy. See how you do the segue there,
boys?
Nice
segue. Right nice.
No, but that was the first dirt late model he ever built. When he built it, they built it like an asphalt car where they wanted it nice and low to the ground. Well, it turns out the race that they were running was really big, and it turned out the track was new, and it was hard-packed like asphalt. So that car lapped every car in the field except second place, and that car was the other Larry Shaw car that he had in the race. That was his first dirt race, and he sold like 7 cars and Billy Moyer came on, and yada, 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 yada. So
sometimes it pays to be second.
What's that, AJ?
I said sometimes it pays to be second.
Sometimes it pays to be second, but check that out if nobody's really heard of it. They kind of spawned it on Twitter. I stumbled across it. It is I couldn't get enough of it. The stories Larry Shaw was telling, because it was basically Mark Martin, Larry Shaw, and Mark Martin's dad going to ASA races and stuff. When Mark was 15, 16 years old winning these races, like, we don't understand that Mark Martin was a racing prodigy. Like, we don't look at him that way because he never won a NASCAR championship or a Daytona 500, but listen to it. It's phenomenal. And if anybody wants to help my cause, go spread like wildfire for me to go travel the Midwest and terrorize everything good about dirt racing.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll everybody out there that's listening, make sure you go on Twitter and tell Billy Moyer Jr. and Billy Moyer to hire Maddie Watkins.
And if he gets
steering wheel
technician in May.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, boys. I'll have to go back and listen to the interview with Jason, but hope it was good. Hope everything worked out, and we'll talk to you maybe next week.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Thank you. Next caller.
All right.
Next caller. Who we got on the line?
It'd be T.O. Terry Odom.
Terry, what's going on, man?
Riding down the road, man. I've been listening to your show, man. Y'all do a great job, brother. Great job promoting racing.
We greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you for all you do out there at Triple T. And so you got the Savage coming up. That ought to be interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of unique. You know, one of our goals was this year is to think outside the box and do things a little bit different than what is traditionally done, and that's where we come up with the Savage Twin 50s, and what that consists of is we'll have a 50-lap race in the clone engine, and we'll have a 50-lap race in the animal engine. It'll be broken up into 2 25-lap segments. So the boys I talked to some of the drivers, and they're sweating a little bit because that's 100 laps total at the Black Widow, and there's a lot of G-forces out there, and them boys are already getting their necks warmed up for the pain they're going to have in their necks.
Yeah,
100 laps.
And what's going on with this the mechanics challenge you got going on?
Well, just staying within tune. What we're talking about, staying thinking outside the box. Like we did with the Who's Your Mama challenge. Every team just about out there, especially in the kids class, has a mama in the pits that, so in a lot of cases, don't want to be there, but they want to support the kids. So we decided to do the Who's Your Mama to give back to them, and then same goes for the crew members. Every team out there has at least one, most of the time 2 or 3, that help them get to where they're at in the pits, and they don't ever get recognized. The winner always gets the trophy, gets the recognition on the front straightaway, gets the pictures, gets the money, and the pit crews are left hanging, doing all the work at the track and back in the shop. So we decided to get back to them too, and we're going to have a challenge for them, and it'll be announced at the race. We're going to keep that top secret till the day of the race, and we'll see who's got the baddest pit crew out there, and it could be from swapping out motors or tires or whatever. We're gonna put it together for them, and we'll see who's the baddest, and that person will receive a pretty good payday.
No doubt, man. Sorry, Jason Timberlake had just come over and pit crewed us.
Yeah, pit
here
crewed
with a Miller High Life here in a Bud Light. We're drinking one for you. But great shows, man. Great stuff going on down there, and got to say thanks so much for all that you do for go-karting, and we definitely want to try to get the word out as much as possible, man. Get people down there, because I'm gonna tell you what, that's some exciting racing a lot of people don't know about, but doing our best to try to get them in there, man.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you do, man, and back to seeing a great show. I assure you, you come out there, you're going to see a great show. We have some 2, sometimes 3 wide racing and go-karts. You see those show the Red Platers put on last week,
yes.
All the way up to the adults, man. They get out there and get down on there, and it is common to see 2 or 3 wide racing at Triple T.
Yep, and fast racing.
Yeah, looks real
very fast, very fast.
They got the one thing that. What time is your gates open and everything coming up? Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend on the 31st.
Yeah, the gates will open up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to start practice at 3. We put a 3-hour spread in there, so we have time to get the drivers registered and get their carts pre-tacked. You hit on a little bit about some of the safety issues that we're having. We should always focus on safety, but sometimes things happen that makes us refocus. And one of the things that's kind of slipped out of the minds of a lot of tracks, including Triple T, is the weight. We had a gentleman get hurt pretty bad by weight coming off, and we just want to make sure that we do a good pre-tech, and folks got the right size bolts out there, got their weights clearly painted safety white first. And names and numbers on there. Just racing is dangerous, and we need to do whatever we can to make it as safe as possible, and not have silly things happen and hurt somebody.
Yeah, I tapped on that tonight recording about the whole 3/8 bolt, and when people are stacking weights, make sure you paint them white and put your name on it, your cart number, and all that good stuff. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, is having that stuff tight. And a lot of people, when they run different classes, they take those weights off or shift them around, and there's a lot of it. People are in a hurry, man. They're running 4 or 5 classes, and they don't have a whole lot of time, but it's always good to take that extra second, because you never know whose life you've got in your hands.
Oh, absolutely, man. That weight flying around this track is very, very dangerous. And we put a couple of little things in place. The grid worker now is, glancing at the weight when they're in the grid. Tech man's making sure that the weights are tight. It's easy to do, but we got to do whatever we can to keep from stuff like that happen. Not tighten your weights up it should never happen, but unfortunately it does happen. One of the things I'm encouraging the guys to do is to put a cotter pin in it. Drill a little hole in the threads and put a cotter pin in it, which is easy for us to check in the grid if you got a cotter pin in it, and it also will help prevent a bolt from coming all the way off, and then the weight coming off. You got a cotter pin in it, the bolt can't come out. So even if it's not completely tight, it can come off.
Yeah. Well, buddy, thank you so much for calling in, and definitely look forward to getting down there Hopefully, we'll have a new baby to bring in the gate. What's baby prices?
Babies are free. Babies are free.
Prices for babies are free. Cool. Awesome, man. Well,
But the
thank you
folks
so
that want to, come out, don't want to sit there and, go through all the practicing and qualifying. If they show up about 3 or 4 o'clock, they'll get there about the time the features about to get started, and that's when things start really cranking anyway. So the fans want to show up there, after 4 o'clock, the gate prices drop. So they're we encourage them to come up, bring a truckload back up to the fence, and have a good old time.
I was going to say that, too.
Tune the radio into 100.5 and listen to the announcer on the intercom, and they'll feel like they're at a NASCAR race.
Yeah, I was going to say that, too, man. A lot of tracks, you can't just do that. Back your truck up to the fence and break out a cooler, break out a grill, and have yourself. They were having a little old party over there on the other side of the racetrack the other night. Just good old time, man. They had a little heater out there and all kinds of stuff, and you can kind of go out there and just enjoy yourself,
We got the famous Wesley coming into town too, so they'll have plenty to listen to while he's on the mic.
Wesley Outland.
Yep.
Well,
he will be in the house.
I'm gonna get Kevin Reiner to autograph my arm, and then I'll just full fist bump, and you can get his autograph. We sit here tonight with the #1 in the world, man.
All right, buddy. Well, y'all enjoy. We always enjoy listening to the show. Y'all do a great job for all forms of racing, and that's awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, I'll see you, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Speaking of autographs, AJ's over here signing the 5 he's ever had to sign. So,
how many did you sign?
Uh,
Matter of fact, I was practicing because, as you can see here, this is one I did for you.
Yeah, and I gladly do not accept that.
Right.
So we had that talk a little bit earlier, man, about tire prep situation, and a lot of people have. I mean, I just have to say, this is just my thoughts. I think it's overrated. Honestly, I feel that a lot, and I'm probably, I don't care if I piss people off. It really doesn't matter. I'm Rooster. I do what the hell I want to do. But all this, I think you're overworking yourself. Is follow the leader. If a guy runs a chrome manifold this week and he wins, next week, just like you said, if a guy pisses on his tires this week and he wins, next week, boom, you're going to have to run curtains around because everybody's going to be peeing on their tires. I think it's overrated.
Well, I can tell you I completely disagree. I don't think. I wish you would get away from it. Obviously, I'll say that first of all. I wish that, but you're never going to stop it. If you want to be up front and prepping is allowed, you are going to have to prep tires, and that's just the way it is. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's so much that goes into it nowadays. I can see Swanee with old slant eyes over there.
We went out. We went out and practiced. Literally, we went out and practiced the other day on a set of tires that had never been scuffed, never been wiped, and turned like 0.2 of a thousandth off of the guy that was winning the night before.
I think you have a lot of different factors on that, though. The daytime, the air quality, or air density.
Yes.
Things
He's
like
got
that.
a book of excuses of why you will or will not run good.
My personal opinion is that I can tell you that a straight up tire versus a prep tire is going to lose. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a known fact. But then you play in. This is not got nothing to do with go-kart racing. But then you add in the fact that if you're prepping and you're cutting and you're siping, you are going to be completely faster than. I mean, your tires are going to be completely different than anybody else out there. So they should just do away with all of it. Throw the siping, throw the cutting away.
I completely agree with that. Yeah.
The tire test.
So you got one guy that says that you got to scuff the tire on the racetrack, and then you got the other guy that says you can use a belt sander, and you got the other guy that says you can use a grinder sander on a thing, and one guy says you can't use that, and the other guy says you're ruining your tire if you do this, but it's working for them. It's
personal preference.
I've seen people work tires like crazy and go out there and, I mean, I have more traction on the glue.
I think the deal with the scuffing on the racetrack, it gets an even scuff. Is that, and maybe I'm wrong.
And the tires are
because
that I can't.
Because if you're doing it with a sander, there's a chance. And if you see people all the time, they're out there just hacking away like they're chopping wood or something like that. There's an art to it.
Yeah.
And if I think there's a way you turn the rubber a certain way.
And I totally get, I totally get the whole thing about softening it up so you can get more bite, this, that, and other. But the actual physics that has gone into this is sheer rocket science now. I mean, it's turned into
thousands of dollars.
Honestly,
and
I think what it is just
to soften a tire.
Overworking yourself. If you're trying to get the compound of the tire at a 50 reading on the durometer, who cares if you scuffed it 7 months ago or if you scuffed it yesterday? If you got trying to get, I mean, is it closing the rubber?
There's all things that come into play with heat cycles. You know, when you're softening the tire, you're not only softening the contact pads, you're softening the sidewalls. I mean, there's a lot.
Do you feel that this is a situation that has gotten into racing that's drug a lot of people out of it?
I think it's drug a lot of unnecessary expense into it,
which
which in turn draws people out of it.
And way for people.
Imagine, man, you still not talking to me?
You still mad?
No.
Wow.
You must have done something last week.
I think it's. I agree with you when I wish it would go away. But it's here. There's nothing you're going to do to change it. You can put a rule in that says don't prep, and people are still going to prep because everybody has their own prep, or there's a guy out there that says it cannot be detected by a sniff test or chemical analysis or all that. You know, it's here. It's here to stay. You might as well embrace it, or
make like a base type of prep that you're going to be using.
I'm going to
debunk. Then you'd have to run it. Then you'd have to run it in like a pump around because nobody's going to be using the same prep.
Yeah. I'm going to sell tires that way. So you ran their tires. Well, it's kind of same similarity.
The only way you ever get rid of it is if everybody mounts their tires at the racetrack, which is not going to happen.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
That's entirely too much time to take, and nobody's got enough money to buy rims and buy tires and to have them all at the racetrack and sit there with everybody and mount tires
without money.
Because I can guarantee you, if you go up to Southern National for an asphalt race, when you go up there, you go in, you pay for your set of tires, or I don't know the exact specifics.
That's
but
a 417 too.
You go up there, you go in, you pick out your 4 tires, and they're marked after qualifying or whatever it might be. And then at the end of the night, I think you give them tires back. And see, the good thing is all these tires have been run, so they got a few races on. We need to see if we can get in touch with Mr. Diaz of Southern National Motor Speedway, asking exactly how that goes on, because I think that's the way it needs to go. You want to get rid of prep, that's how you need to do it. And I know it's going to be different with dirt track and all that. There's a lot of stuff that comes in with stagger and different things.
Well, that's like now with the tire rules and stuff changing. You got some tracks that was supposed to be open tire rule. You got some that's on a tire rule. And now everybody's griping about, I got to throw away these old tires, or I've got used tires. The damn tires are old anyway. If they've been sitting in your shed getting hot and getting cold and getting wet and drying out, they're not good. You can scuff them, you can rub them in goat piss. It doesn't matter. They're still not going to be as good as fresh rubber.
Yeah.
Is that an India thing?
What, goat piss?
No, there's actual tire prep called
goat
piss.
We've ran it.
But
and we've ran, and I've heard a lot, people talking about you can't over soften the tire because then it's going to bog your motor down. I totally get that fact. That if you too soft for the tire, you go in the corner, it's going to bog your motor down to try to get going up. But what's the perfect? Because I see people working themselves to the bone. Literally, if you go out to the track, dude, these guys have got heater boxes. They've got hot water. I mean, they're re-prepping and burning them and firing them. Dude, when we were kids, we hit it with a WD-40, maybe some creosote.
Well, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep up with, at a go-kart track, you start out during the day, and then you're going into racing at night. And sometimes you're racing 3 and 4 classes. So you got to think about the dew that's falling on the racetrack. When dew falls on the racetrack, that changes the racetrack. They got the hot boxes. There's a different thing. You might want to burn this chemical into the tire. You might just want to wipe it. There's different aspects of it that go with. If there's people out there watching right now and you got some experience with tire prep, call in 910-321-8299. We want to hear from you.
Well, that's like a night we were at Triple T.
You're keeping up with the racetrack.
And it was a cold night. Well, it was a hot during the day. It was like one of them mid-July, late August shows, and it was real hot during the day and it was cold at night. Well, they had to stop about midway through the night session, and by the time they put cars back on the racetrack, it was dew falling. It was slicker than eel shit. And they couldn't do nothing. Yeah. Nobody had the tires.
So, and sometimes with those heat boxes, or I remember we used to need to, we had softened them too much. So what we would try to do was take methanol, put it back on the tire to try to bring the durometer back up. That was the old school way of trying to bring it back up. And the only thing that scientific reason that I can give, and I'm not smart when it comes to that stuff, but was if you've ever had methanol, it dries up really quick. So it's sucking the stuff that you put in the tire back out of it. So hardening the rubber back. You're just manipulating the rubber.
Yeah,
is what you're doing.
Killing yourself, just overworking yourself,
and paying
too
much
much
money.
Yeah,
too much time and energy. I'm glad my class doesn't have to worry about that. DOT
it's
tires
coming.
only.
It's
yeah,
coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's everywhere. So nobody else wants to call in, man. What do you think? Winding it up. I just want to let everybody know Rockfish coming up this weekend. The Mod Lights, March 24th, going down for practice. WKML 95.7. The Country Cares for Kids St. Jude's Radiothon. Actually, the Fishing to Fight Cancer crew, Mom, Dad, all the guys will be down at exit 41 at the Bojangles down there. Going down, talk to them, become a partner in hope. Believe me, 99 cents of your dollars going to the St. Jude's children whenever you're actually donating to these folks. I've worked with a lot of different charities and actually lended a hand in helping to raise over $1,750,000 for kids with cancer. And this is great stuff, man. So listen to 95.6. It's kind of hard. It'll choke you up, definitely, if you have a kid. Just a little back thing, I had Wyatt was 6 months old, and they gave him a 90% chance of neuroblastoma cancer. And, dude, you want to talk about being floored? I mean, I've rode bulls. I've done all kinds of crazy shit. I married Nicole Kitchen. I mean, you want to talk about crazy, man. I've done it. And but when I heard that my son had a 90% chance of cancer, it was like, it hit me, bro. And then we went and did the MRIs, this, that, and other, where we fell in 10% abnormality. Of course, we knew it was abnormal to start with. He was my son. But, to hear that, and if Wyatt would have had cancer, he would have had somewhere to go. And parents don't have to pay when their kids go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And it's a great thing, man. It's definitely something if you're wanting to give back to your community or give back to the future of children. It's like, 16 cents a day, something like that. I mean,
bring back the cold water challenge. That brought a bunch of money to St. Jude.
So 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. they're going to be on location. I believe there's 2 locations this year, right, Mom? Right behind the Hardee's at Westwood. Right there behind it, and Westwood on McPherson Church Road.
Chickenfoot.
And then down at Bojangles on Chickenfoot Road. So there's 2 separate spots that you can actually come to and donate and become a partner in hope. Or just bring a donation like Miss Hannah Tyndall. Hannah grew up, I think the first time she come seen us, she was like 5, and she was raising $100, $200, $300, $400 when she was selling Road. So there's 2 separate spots that you can actually come to and donate and become a partner in hope. Or just bring a donation like Miss Hannah Tyndall. I wanted to hear that again. But
make sure you understood.
Yeah, but Hannah she's just a little kid, and she was selling stuff and taking donations from people to give back to the kids. So an awesome thing, man. Go check that out. That's Thursday and Friday with the big WKML 95.7. Yeah, all the way to 1,000 that one time. Shirley did. March 31st, Autryville Town Hall, Old School Classic Cruise-In is going to be going on down there. That's in the little old lazy town of Autryville. You can't miss it, but it's about like Route 66 down there. 1 or 2 cars ride by and out at the big highways put together. Yeah. Is it? Autryville, home of the Gator himself. Hey, there's going to be a sign, so we got to make a sign.
Yeah.
We got to make
number
a sign
1 in the world.
Number 1 in the world. Kevin Reiner in Autryville, North Carolina. So go down and eat at Big Daddy's Grill. You might see Kevin in there. You never know. You might get sign an autograph session.
There you go.
At the little store there, the stab and grab joint, right there at the store. But y'all got anything, man?
What do y'all know what the exact date was that we started all this? It's June.
It's the 2nd week of June.
We're not far.
Nope, almost 1 year coming into it, man. Great things have happened.
Absolutely.
We've helped to raise over $7,400. And, a lot of cool things we're looking forward to doing this year. So give us a call. Send in mail time. Do whatever you got to do. We'd love to have you. A huge thanks to all our folks out there that make it possible for us. Temple Mechanical, Fast Tracks Mud Bog, A1 Portable Toilets, A1 Landscaping and Lot Clearing, Bellinger Signs and Graphics, Red Line Speed Shop, Raging Rooster Catering, C&M Pressure Washing, Did I forget anybody?
I don't think Captain Rooster Flag.
Myself, that
Yeah.
guy. I forgot about him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody here tonight, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely keep your prayers out for the Murphy family. And until next time, we gone.
Later, guys.
Bye.